Ken Reed in Muncie, Indiana, and we just thought we would come to you a little differently today. Something that we started about 8 years ago. It was in 2011, and we called it Read NuAttitude Action Now Show. The action stood for apply concrete thoughts to ignite or inspire optimism or opportunity now. And Kenny, you came up with the acronym for NOW. You remember what that is?
Yeah. Now. So when we talk about things, we want to talk about things that apply to us now.
It was no opportunity wasted is what it was.
But we still want to talk
such a joker
about things that apply to us now because we don't want to waste the opportunity.
This is true.
So, no opportunity wasted.
So, instead of the phone, we're coming through YouTube. You had a couple of really interesting observations from this past week. Here it is being Friday, or is it Saturday? It's the weekend.
This is actually Saturday.
We're retired. It's the weekend. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's the first weekend of 2019, January. And you tend to watch the news more than I do. I try to avoid it at all costs.
Well, I like to see what's going on in the world. And as of late, really news has been really interesting because there are all kinds of things that are going on, all kinds of discussions that are going on. We had them going on last year, and we look for them to actually sort of pick up and might be a little bit heated, might be a little confrontational this year, but I think it'll be exciting and it'll be informative. So I think looking at the news, that's one thing, to get information. But it's really important that you get the whole picture, get the true story. So we'll talk about those things. And, Cynthia, I just look and I think about our economy, and it's been a problem that people have had for such a long time, always trying to make things better. And what do we have to do to make things better? Well, I think we always hear about people talking about employment and how many jobs are being created. But that means then there are people that are out of work. There are people that are looking for jobs. Why are people looking for jobs? Well,
they want to get paid.
It's really simple. Yeah, they want to get paid. It's a thing called income. It's sort of hard to eat when you can't pay for it.
That all ties in with healthcare too, because we are really what we consume. We are what we eat. And
yeah, I like to eat good food.
If you count potato chips,
it's good food. For me, it is.
Snicker bars.
Yeah, that's really good food too. But,
fruits and veggies.
But it's good to be able to afford fruits and veggies, a little meat here, some chicken, some steak. But every now and then you got to have a good Snickers bar. It does something for your attitude. Makes you feel a whole lot better. You're like a different person. I know you've seen that commercial about the Snickers bar. Yeah.
Overrated. Anyway, back to what we were talking about. People making ends meet. This government shutdown that is going on. It's affecting 800,000 federal workers, so they say.
That's an estimate that they give, some 800,000 federal workers. The interesting thing is, when you think about those federal workers, they probably are about the same way we are. They have monthly bills because we're told that the average person in America that's works from check to check, paycheck to paycheck. So now, if you're working from paycheck to paycheck and you're counting on that paycheck to come in, then that's probably an indication that, number one, the paycheck just isn't big enough. It's not giving you enough. So with the shutdown and not receiving their paychecks, they have families. You got to feed your family.
And a lot of people have medical bills that they owe, and not necessarily ones that they may incur.
Yeah, and you got to pay those bills. So that's just a little more worry, a little more pressure. Mental health wise,
oh my gosh,
it just can't be good for people to have to go through and work through all of this. So as we think about it, one thing, Cynthia, I would think about is people work for an income. Now, the question I have often I think about, and sometimes I'll ask people, I say, well, if you're working, number one, something I always wondered. I said, have you ever noticed if you listen to a person that we consider to be wealthy, those millionaires, have you ever noticed a millionaire that said, oh, I'm good, I don't need any more money?
Not one.
Not one.
Not
so
one.
I would figure it this way. If they can always use a little bit more money, then it's okay for the rest of us to be able to say we could always use a little bit more money.
True. And I think of daycare. People who are in daycare centers, people who have to take their children to a daycare. If you don't have money to pay your daycare, how in the world are you going to have money to pay for anything else if you don't have a job with money coming in? And then you're talking about, okay, what are the children going to be observing in that parent or that caregiver that's under more stress because they don't get a check? And that's one reason, again, why it's so good for a person to say, I've got to do something on my own that's going to bring in money regardless of what my boss or my job, which is JOB, just over broke, which is why I have to keep going back, you got to do something.
Well, one thing about children is they have a tendency to pick up on things.
Oh, they do. Very
and
perceptive.
So they'll pick up on their parents being stressed. And sometimes even because the parents are so stressed, it takes its toll on the children.
Mm-hmm.
The parents are upset and shouting at the children for things that children aren't responsible for. And remember, kids are going to be kids. You got to give them some freedom to allow them to grow and be healthy.
Right.
And, I think every good parent wants to be able to provide for their child. And, and doing that, sometimes you want to treat them to certain things, maybe some special things, maybe, like taking them out for pizza. Some people think going to McDonald's is a treat, and for those people, it's a treat. But, to be able to do those things, I remember I used to take my grandkids out and I'd go buy Happy Meals for them. They didn't really care about the meal. They just wanted
the toy.
The toy that was inside.
Yeah.
But, all that, being able to do those little things, to be able to reflect back on those are things of joy and happiness. So, and I often ask people, I say, well, let's think about this. How's the job you got now? How's that working for you? Okay, think about how many years you had this job and how much extra money you have in the bank. Well, truthfully, most people tell the truth. They don't do a good job of saving. That's one thing.
No, not at all.
In this time and age, we really don't do a good job of saving. And you know what? If you come to the conclusion that you've been working a job, it's like, 10, 15 years. As a matter of fact, I talked to someone the other day, Cynthia, and they said to me, well, I've been working like for 17 years. This was an older person. And they said, and after all that time, I said, I haven't worked really long enough that I can retire or anything.
Or take a vacation.
Yeah.
And it's sad.
And don't really have the money to do that. Or I got other people in my family, I have to help them. And because I'm helping them, that's taken away from that income that I do have.
Caregivers.
So, and at some point in time, we're all going to become caregivers. So, wouldn't it be a good thing for you to have some additional income, some things that are going to come in, whether you got up to go to work or not? As a matter of fact, wouldn't it be good to have the opportunity to do a thing that a lot of people don't get a chance to do? It's called retire.
Yes.
Most people are worried about retiring because they think, I'm not going to have enough money.
And prices keep going up on everything.
Yeah. And the other thing, though, is there's a lot of people that don't get to retire because they've worked all their lives, but before they can retire, they go on to a place we call, other than Earth, their resting place.
Mm.
Okay, now, I don't think anyone should have to work their whole life and never get an opportunity to just enjoy some of life.
Or if you work your whole life and you do retire, maybe you've done labor with your hands, or it involved your back or your feet, being on your feet a long time, and when you do get a chance to go out, your back hurts, your knees hurt, you can't afford the medical care that other people who have set aside certain monies because they can afford to do that, they can't get the type of care they need to just enjoy the physical body that they have before the physical body transitions out.
That's true. And so, I think the important thing that people need to think about is, how can I increase my income? How can I actually gain a thing called freedom?
Yeah.
So, in other words, I'm not working for someone else, but I'm working for myself.
And you don't have to be rich.
No, you don't.
To be able in a position, still, to be able to give to the less fortunate.
Yeah, and a lot of people will come to this country, and one of the things they think about, and when you talk about America, is a land of opportunity. Mm-hmm. Now, the interesting thing is, there is a land, in this land, opportunity for everyone.
There is.
Some people realize and see the opportunities that are there, and they'll take hold of those, and they'll go after them.
But they're scared.
Yeah, but
what if I fail?
No, the ones that take hold of those opportunities don't worry about failure. Their whole thing is, hey, we have a chance to achieve something we haven't had, and we're going to go for it. And when you get to the point where you actually realize you have an opportunity, and whether or not you're successful depends on you and not someone else. So I'm in control of my destiny. When you come to that realization that you're in control of your destiny, that's when you'll move ahead in life. And you know what? People that function on fear have a tendency to be frozen and not do the things that need to be done. They don't move forward. Of course, I did years of coaching. I'm into athletics, really enjoy that. But how many athletes, we look at super athletes, superstars, how many of those do we look at and you see them saying, well, I'm afraid to take that shot, or I'm afraid to throw that ball?
Well, our favorite team, we have to say, it's the Indiana Pacers. Woo woo, boom baby. And when Miles Turner got his nose broken, and he has to wear the mask, he still plays ball because he loves what he does and he wants to get paid. But suppose somebody breaks their nose in the NBA and says, oh, I can't go back out there. I broke my nose. I know I'm going to suffer for it, but I broke my nose. I stubbed my toe. I bumped my elbow. I tripped on a rock. And so therefore I'm not going to do it again because I hurt myself.
Well, whether we're looking at athletes, we're looking at entertainers, those superstars, and you think about how successful they are, and I wonder what it'd be like to be in their shoes. Don't you know?
A lot of failure.
Not only did they have to go through a lot of failure, but they had to go through a thing called putting in a lot of personal time and energy. Mm-hmm. It wasn't about them being comfortable. They had to work through the discomforts, through the things that were uncomfortable, to get where they wanted to be and where they are. And so, Cynthia, that to me has always been a message that if you're going to achieve anything in greatness, then you have to work for it. So, it's no like, well, I can go to work and I can come home and I can just sit back and be totally comfortable.
No, because you have to get up, that you hate to get up the next day, and you hate to work that overtime, but you need that overtime because you just bought Christmas. And, it's just a never-ending cycle. Are you going backward? Are you standing still? Are you moving forward? And even more than moving forward, are you moving upward and moving forward? So that is, your perpetual motion. Where are you going? What are you thinking? Why do you want to stay where you are? No achiever wants to stay where they really are. It's like the next thing, the next thing, the next thing. And you just try to just constantly climb that ladder of achievement, and then hopefully have the mindset to bring other people who see what you've done with you. But then some people don't want to go.
Well, some people are just comfortable being uncomfortable.
Mm-hmm. Oh, goodness, yes.
And when you get comfortable being uncomfortable, then that means you're not going to move. Now, I always had this saying, Cynthia, I always told you. I said, you know what? Salvation is for everybody, but not everybody wants to be saved.
Isn't that horrible?
Hey, guess what? You can't save a person that don't want to be saved.
Yeah, kind of like, with the eating thing here. We're getting ready to go on a little dietary restriction with our church and a fast. I know you're looking, no chips.
You can't save a person
bars,
that doesn't want to.
No soda pops, no coffee.
Oh, that means you got to do without some things.
But to do without some things moves you higher up. When we were watching, what was that show, Lost in Space? The later Lost in Space, not the other one, this Robbie Robot,
I don't know,
warning.
but we could go on and on.
Danger, Mr. Robinson. Or was it Danger, Will Robinson?
Whatever. It was danger.
I liked that show when I was a kid.
Yeah, so you got to understand. And what we're trying to point out, with that danger, that, hey, if you don't listen to things that are out there around you, that's why it's important to listen to the news. So you can see what's going on in the world around us. But then, after you do that, then it's going to require some action on your part.
Change your thinking, change your life.
That's true.
Wasn't that brilliant?
So, yeah, that was good.
Heard that from somebody once.
Yeah. Every now and then she comes up with great things. So, but you know what? It's been great to actually spend this time talking. But now we got to move on today here.
Yeah, it's Saturday afternoon, and we got stuff to do, like exercise at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, that means we got to do some things we don't necessarily want to do.
But doesn't it feel good when you get out there and you're done? I feel
the done
wonderful
part
when I'm
is
done.
great.
It's coming out the locker room. It's like, ugh.
The hardest part is getting there. Once you get there and you get started, everything's good.
And you got support around you,
And guess what? You can
great.
look around and you see all the other people that are around there. They're saying, hey, glad you could be out here today. Hey, you know what? I had to struggle to get here too. So in other words, we got some things in common, some things we can share.
Yeah.
But we can, once again, because we're there, we can support one another. We can actually build one another up.
And that's why we have our business family. We build each other up. We're only looking for 7 to 10 key people. We have a few key people. We're talking about key people who think like we do, people who have a desire to move forward in their lives, people who want to help other people, regardless of whether they want to help themselves or not. If they don't want to help themselves, well, you just set them on the side burner and say, I still love you, but I'm looking for somebody. Who do you know? Remember that website? I just revamped it again after the holidays.
BetterThanDonuts.com.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that website.
Now, you can't have donuts for the fast.
Well, but it's BetterThanDonuts.com. I can go there as often as I want. And
day
guess
or night,
what?
Day or night.
And it's not going to actually have an effect on how many donuts I eat.
You're not going to eat any. Not for 19 days.
But I did say it's better than donuts anyway.
True.
So what you need to do is go to BetterThanDonuts.com so you can find out what it's really all about. And we can guarantee you,
you'll love it. You really will. There's something for everybody. And I do have to say this. If you spend time going back and forth to work, can you tax deduct that time? Can you tax deduct your meals? Can you tax deduct your auto, your whatever else is your car washes? Can you tax deduct your utilities? can you text up your phone, which is actually your office? And we'll just get a little into that later on. But I'm so glad that you joined us for this version of Read New Attitude Action Now Show, where we apply concrete thoughts, tips, etc. to apply them into your life. I totally messed up that acronym, but you know what I mean.
She does that. Oh,
44 years with this man, ladies and gentlemen. 44 years, and I'm still 39 years old. Figure that one out.
Yeah. So how old does that make me?
12.
Okay. That'll work.
Anyway, God bless you guys. Have a wonderful weekend. And until next time, it's Kenny and Cynth'ya Reed.
In Muncie, Indiana.
And the creators of BetterThanDonuts.com, which is a part of the Surge 365 fabulous, legendary family. Travel lovers who get paid to do what we do.
So
have fun.
We want you to get caught up by the vortex. Yes. Oh, you won't know what that is unless you go to
BetterThanDonuts.com. God bless everybody.
See ya.